Hi, I'm Gustavo Maia. I'm an attorney from Brazil. And today I'm going to start a series of videos that will touch on the most common issues affecting foreigners who want to invest and do business in Brazil. Since 2008, I have dealt with hundreds of clients who have wanted to invest in Brazil, but did not know how to navigate in the sometimes overwhelming sea of legal information. That is why I'm here today, to facilitate your comprehension of the legal system in Brazil from a foreigner's perspective. This first video is aimed at touching on the main subjects, and then we will talk about those subjects with more detail. You can also find my contact information below if you need specific information on a particular subject. The first thing that you should know about investing in real estate in Brazil is that, as a foreigner, you are completely able to buy property in Brazil. You have the same rights and obligations as a Brazilian when you buy real estate in Brazil, and you own 100% of your assets without a need for a local partner. It is perfectly possible to buy a property in Brazil in the name of your foreign corporation. Some of my clients ask me if it's worth it to set up a Brazilian corporation to hold the property. I'd say that if you are not running a real business in Brazil, it is too costly and therefore not worth it to have a Brazilian corporation just for that purpose. You can also use your RA funds to buy properties in Brazil. All you need to do is form a corporation with your RA funds. In this case, your RA will be a member of the company and the company will hold the property. If you grant your lawyer a power of attorney, it is not necessary to be in Brazil to buy, pay, sell a Brazilian property and receive the investment back in your bank account. I'm often asked by my clients whether owning a property gives them the right to have a permanent visa. In fact, you can use your tourist visa to stay up to 6 months per year in Brazil, but you do not have the right for permanency unless you fulfill the requirements for a permanent visa. The buying process can be a bit tricky, so it's always advisable for the foreign investor to hire a lawyer to guide him or her through the purchase process, which can be summarized into 4 or 5 simple steps if you choose to hire a lawyer. Those steps can be summarized into choosing the property and setting the price, hire the lawyer, provide that lawyer with the necessary paperwork, then you sign all the paperwork, the contracts, and you start making the payments. It's as simple as that if you only hire a lawyer. It is important to work with a good lawyer. It's not a legal requirement to hire a lawyer in order to complete a real estate transaction in Brazil. However, buying a property anywhere involves certain legal details that are specific to each country. A lawyer is a professional who will protect your investment, saving you time, effort, and money as well. So I do recommend that you try to find a lawyer who is experienced with foreign buyers in order to make your purchase as trouble-free and as fast as possible. The lawyer that you hire should be able to run due diligence checks, contract negotiations, apply for a power of attorney to represent you, apply for a CPF or CNPJ, which are the tax IDs for individuals and corporations respectively, and do a title transfer when the time comes, if you buy an off-plan property, for example. The paperwork you should provide to complete your real estate transaction is quite simple to get. Individuals are required to have a valid passport as a personal identification. Also, they need to have a CPF number, which is the tax ID, and if the buyer is not in Brazil, they need to provide with a power of attorney for someone to represent them in order to get the title transferred. If you are buying as an individual and you are married, the same documents should be provided by both husband and wife. It is necessary because in Brazil, we need the spouse's authorization to sell any kind of real estate property. So all properties in Brazil are registered in the name of the couple. For corporations, it is required a copy of the Articles of Organization, a CNPJ number, which is the tax ID for corporations, the passport of the manager or director of the company who will sign the title deed or the power of attorney, the CPF number of the manager or director, and a power of attorney if someone who is not the manager or director is representing the company. The only problem that I have with paperwork for corporations is that the Articles of Organizations must state clearly who manages the company or who is authorized to sign the power of attorney. When preparing the title deed, the notary will check if the person who is signing the deeds or has signed the power of attorney has powers to do so. The power of attorney document must be prepared before a notary public, and the copies of the passport and articles of organization must be notarized as true copy by a public notary as well. All documents must be legalized at the Brazilian consulate to be valid in Brazil. Funds can be sent to Brazil as a regular international bank transfer. All transfers must be sent through the Central Bank of Brazil, which will record the funds entering the country. It is important to use this official route to save any future problems should you wish to transfer your funds back out again. To make the transfer, you will need the bank details of the vendor, which is a SWIFT code, bank account, and branch number, and must reference the property you are purchasing on the transfer order in order to link the investment with the purchase. There is a field in the SWIFT message for the details of payment where you should instruct your bank to insert your property details. The investment will be registered in the currency of the country of origin. So bear in mind that you will always send the funds in your own currency, not in Brazilian reais, and the vendor will then convert your currency into reais when receiving the funds in Brazil. Expect to pay closing costs of 5 to 7% of the purchase price in order to obtain your title deeds. Once you own your property in Brazil, you will be required to pay the IPTU. This is an annual tax to be paid on urban property and is charged by the local town hall. It varies from area to area, but is usually around 1% of the property value per year. If the property is rented, the tenant is required to pay the IPTU tax. If you decide to sell your property, you will be charged a capital gains tax at 15% of your property. 15% of your profit when you sell. Now moving on to visa and residency. Here I will give you a brief overview of the various options available. But as visa requirements vary according to individual circumstances, you may wish to ask questions relating to your particular circumstances, which you are welcome to do by sending me an email or getting in contact with me in the message section below. The primary options are tourist visa, retirement visa, and investor visa. These are the most sought after visa options. The main one, of course, would be the tourist visa, which can give you up to 180 days to stay in the country at each time. 180 days per year. It's important to note that when you apply for the tourist visa, when you get the visa, you have 90 days to enter the country for the first time, or that visa will be canceled. Of course, you have the retirement visa, which you need to prove that you receive monthly a pension of at least 6,000 reais, which at today's exchange rate would be around $1,900, but that might change. And that covers the spouse as well. If you need to have dependents with you, you need to prove an extra 2,000 reais or $700 per dependent. And of course, the investor's visa, which you need to invest at least $75,000 and generate at least 10 jobs within in the span of 5 years. We can provide you with more details if you need. All right, so that's it. If you need any more explanation, or if you need any more clarification on any of the subjects that I touched today, or if you need on other things that you have, just feel free to get in contact, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you.